It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welkom terug, is ingeskakel op jou Goed Voel ontbytprogram. Dis Expresso net hier op SABC3 op die baie Goed Voel Vrydagoggend. Right now, time for the final frontier here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, an era has come to an end, and this morning we salute Eugene Cernan, commander of the Apollo 17 mission and also the last man to walk on the moon. Now, he sadly passed away earlier this week at the young age of 82 years old. And today, on the final frontier, we commemorate his legacy. And of course, we are joined by none other than Jono Weltman from the Foundation of Space Development. Jono, lovely to have you, man. Sad news. I mean, he was a true legend, astronaut as well, like we said, commander of the Apollo 17, last man to walk on the moon. But who was Eugene Cernan?
He was a swashbuckling cowboy type astronaut, the real breed, if you know what I mean. He did 3 missions. He was on Gemini 9. Then he did Apollo 10, which was the mission before the moon mission.
Wow, okay.
Went all the way to 16 kilometers above the moon and came back without landing on the moon. So he would often say that he painted a white stripe for Neil Armstrong across the sky, and all he had to do is follow that stripe and land.
Yeah.
He set the record for the longest time on the moon, 22 hours and 6 minutes. And his partner on that very final last moon mission, December 11th, 1972, was a guy called Harrison Schmitt, who was the first scientist, the first geologist. So of the 12 people that walked on the moon, only 11 of them were military or pilots, and only 1 scientist. And it gives you an idea of the era.
Absolutely. I mean, what an incredible era that has been as well. I mean, the excitement, I can only imagine what it must have been like, you know, to live in those days and witness these happenings. But I mean, how has Eugene's kind of contribution shaped space travel as we know it today? I mean, what did he set up for us?
Well, I think the whole Apollo team, all 12 that walked on the moon, kind of created a legacy. He said in 2007 it was like JFK had come into the present today, grabbed a decade, dragged it back into the 50s and 60s, and stuck it in neatly for the Apollo program because it was so far ahead. Now, we're talking 44 years ago. It's been 44 years since we walked on the moon.
That is crazy.
And on that last mission, because Harrison was there, the geologist, they found this crystal, this compound rock, which they brought back. It's known as the Goodwill Rock. Broke it into 130 pieces, and gave 1 piece to each of 130 nations. Now, ours is sitting at the Ditsong Museum of Natural History in Pretoria, under the auspices of the Geosciences Council. So if you want to see a piece of the moon, that's the place to go.
That's where it is. Very, very interesting indeed. Jono, thank you so much, man. And yeah, I could only, like I said, I can only imagine, you know, how exciting it is. But I mean, we can also say a big thank you for those gentlemen of the Apollo missions, you know, for what they have done in terms of space travel and made it what it is today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next is Mars.
Next is Mars. I can't believe we haven't been back to the moon since then, eh?
Unbelievable, isn't it? Well, we'll be there soon, I'm sure.
One day, sure. Man, there we go. Your final frontier here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show with the Jono Weltman. Right now, let's catch up with your news headlines.